So welcome to Kaimanawa Alpine Adventures for some helibiking in April 2025. This is our third time lucky getting up in the helicopter. First time the weather wasn't right, second time one of us was sick. So really excited to be going up. That's the group in front of us just about to take off. There was about 5 groups on the day if I remember rightly. Walkers and bikers and hunters by the looks of things, and I think we were the 4th out of the 5th group. Helicopter's just taking off up the valley there. The mountain is just behind the shed that you just saw. So there are a couple other folks in the helicopter with us, and that's my son Reese in the front. Time of filming, Reese is 15 and he is learning to be a glider pilot, and he's also getting his eyes towards his private pilot's license, so he got to go in the front. We all had headsets on so we could hear each other. Beautiful native bush, which we come back down through later on. And we're just heading off up the valley towards the mountain. That's just looking north over the native bush. Just approaching the mountaintop. The landing spot is just that flat section just to the left of the peak of the mountain. We actually go down the trail which goes to the right of that peak, behind that ridge and along to the right. So that's the folks just coming up in the last group as we are starting on the trail, just looking back to the landing spot. So pretty noisy when you're unpacking the helicopter. The bikes just go on a couple of racks either side of the skids on the helicopter. Pretty disconcerting having those blades whipping overhead. Feel that you're going to get a short haircut if you're not careful, but it's perfectly safe. Check out the alpine environment, the lichens and the moss. Quite unique, very different from the valley floor. Very exposed, beautiful views looking out across to Tongariro, although you couldn't see it on the day because it was quite low cloud. So a lot of wash when the helicopter takes off, so make sure you hold on to everything. You can see the bike almost got flipped over there. And that's us on the trail. So we're just to the right of that peak you saw when we're flying up. So quite sheltered in there, the wind's coming from the left. And the trail just follows this ridge which goes round to the right. You can just see it there, that's where you cycle, just above where my right hand is. Great trail, quite flowy, a few little bumps and jumps, so you could really enjoy it if you wanted to go really quick. We were just taking it easy because we're just trying to find our feet, having just come off the helicopter and work out where we're going. That's just arriving at a saddle point. So a flat spot which was very exposed and it was very windy. Beautiful views just looking off to the north there. And that's us just heading along to the right where you saw before. And we drop down into that valley. You can just see where my right hand is. And we climb up the other side of that valley. At the bottom of the valley it's a little bit boggy because it'd been raining for a few days. But not a problem at all.
Very well.
I think that's me just commenting on how amazing the trail is. Stunning views looking to the south, I think there. and you can see there's signs of all the notable hills and landmarks in Te Reo, and also the story into Aotearoa about what each landmark means, which is a really lovely touch. So we're now just dropping down into the valley floor. Trail gets a little bit more loose, a little bit more rocky, and a wee bit steeper. So Reese is absolutely flying down here. He got his first full suspension bike, which we built together as a project, and he's really starting to master it here. And he can go quicker than I can down the trails, which is pretty cool. A few switchbacks, and if you wanted to really go quickly down here, it would be absolutely phenomenal. Again, we were just taking it pretty steady. This is the first time on the trail. Epic trail, that's what I was saying, and it was amazing. Now the switch back, quite a steep one if I remember rightly. You see the trail there following the ridge which we're kind of dropping down from over that top there, down into the valley floor. Now there are a few climbs on this trail. It's about a 23 kilometre trail if I remember correctly, and there's about 400 metres of climbing at various different points overall. The climbing is not too steep, and where there is sustained climbing there are switchbacks, so you're not lugging up really steep hills. Really recommend taking waterproof kit going up the mountain. It was very cold at the top. This is April. It was about 17-18 degrees at the bottom of the valley. At the top, the wind chill was about 5 to 7 degrees, so very chilly, very exposed. There's not really many places to shelter, so I really encourage you to take some warm clothing with you. We're about 11-12k from the end of the trail, so about halfway, and there's this quite sketchy kind of scree fan that you cycle across, so that the folks have put in a wee fence to stop you going down the hill. Such an awesome trail. Incredibly beautiful, and it's early April. It feels very autumn-like. It's pretty chilly today. The wind chill must be about 5 to 7 degrees, but absolutely stunning, and we're out the wind now, so it feels nice and calm. But yeah, this would feel a wee bit exposed if that fence wasn't there. And as we come over this little crest here, that's Tongariro volcano in front of us there, just underneath the clouds. So the cloud base is pretty low today, otherwise we would have got a view of it in the background there. But it's just nice to get up and finally do this adventure, given we've tried a couple of times and life's got in the way. And here comes Reese on his beautiful carbon fibre custom painted full suspension bike that we got for his Christmas and birthday last year, and we assembled it as a project together. Pretty cool fun. So about 10k to go, as you can see on the sign there, and that's the Tongariro volcano in the background, and the desert road just going along the foot there where the sunlight's shining through. And normally you'd be able to see the volcano with snow on the top, but the clouds are a wee bit low today, so unfortunately we can't. It's still very beautiful. And in the background there you can see Lake Taupo. So just dropped into some birch forest after coming off the alpine environment. It's absolutely lovely. So much quieter without the wind. Really stunning. Our trail's quite nice and flowy as well, not too technical. Sharp corner ahead. Yep. Fantastic trail. Whoa! Yeah. Just as well, the bikes have got good brakes. Very pretty little, quite narrow suspension bridge. Must be about a couple of k away from the end now. I can just show you there, tipping my GoPro harness. And there it is, the young man. And that's it the other way. Very lovely. Press the still recording button rather than the video recording button here. Unfortunately, that's just approaching the end of the trail there. You can see the buildings in the background, and that's just Reese and I arriving at the car park back again. Amazing trip, brilliant people, very well run, thoroughly recommend it. Please give us a like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you.